Welcome to 20 Seasons Strong. To celebrate Mazda's 20 seasons as North Melbourne's major sponsor, we're taking a look at how the game has changed, but also stayed the same over the past 2 decades. Today we're talking to former North player and current senior assistant coach Leigh and our most recent Sid Barker medalist, Shaun Higgins. Leigh, Shaun, thanks for joining us. Shaun, you were a mad Geelong supporter when you were a kid. What were your memories of going to Kardinia Park?
Yeah, it's funny how the footy world takes you full circle, I guess. So, mad Geelong supporter growing up, grew up in Geelong, used to go down to Kardinia Park as most as possible to watch the home games down there, and we were even joking that I was at the game with a famous left foot kick from the boundary line that fell in the lap of the god, they said, jumping up and down on the seat as a 4 or 5 year old, and now playing under Lurker as well.
Tell me how you think the game has changed over the decades.
Back then it was just do what you're told. Dennis Pagan and John Kennedy, Wayne Schimmel's, they told you what to do and you just did it. You didn't really have a say in it, you just did what you were told, where these days there's a lot more buy-in from the players, and it's a lot better way to go about it, I think.
Given that we are now full-time footballers, you'd expect it's the skill level and this sort of thing, and the way that the game's played and combating the opposition should be better than it was back in the 80s and 90s, but there are some aspects of that game back then that would probably outweigh our game today. Tactics
is the biggest difference. We've got 8-10 coaches that we're full-time as well now, and we just watch opposition. We know their strengths and weaknesses. I don't think I've ever seen any team play a 7th defender in front of Gary Ablett. I can't remember that ever happening. It was just one-on-one football. The game's a lot faster, a lot harder now than when I played. The full-time footballers, they do a lot more IP, a lot more weight, so the game's a lot harder now than it was when I played.
There's a lot more scrutiny on the game now, you'd have to say. Leigh, do you agree with that?
So the 2 biggest changes for me is probably the social media off-field, and also the trial by video stuff and the camera stuff. There's a lot more probably behind the play incidents when I played.
Look, there's a little bit of off the ball stuff, even the in-play stuff now, but I think back in the day, if you wanted to sort someone out, you could sort them out, and it was just sort of like, yeah, okay, he's gone down behind play and he's off to continue to play, where now so many camera angles, even more umpires. So there's umpires watching every area of the ground now.
Well, both of you have played at different clubs, so I'm interested in knowing what makes North Melbourne a bit different from other clubs.
It's a very good club for that sense of belonging, and back then it was, after a game, if you weren't out, you'd get the phone call from 3 or 4 blokes. There's 30 blokes here, where are you? That was a pretty big thing back when I played. The social side of things was really good. It's a little bit different now as full-time professionals, plus we probably got away with a little bit more. There was no iPhones filming everything you did, and we weren't as well known going out as what these guys are now, because there's so many footy shows and radio shows and all that. So
yeah, I think there's just something in the 4 walls of this footy club that it's hard to explain that or try and encapsulate it into words, in terms of just how tight the playing group is, and something that I noticed when I came over. And it doesn't matter if you're first year or when I started, Spud Frito at the footy club, that it's almost like everyone was just on the same level, and the conversations and the camaraderie and the get-together, everyone was welcome.
Guys, thanks for your time, and thanks for helping us celebrate 20 Seasons Strong.
No worries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Heath.